Hello and welcome to the Pretty Good Gaming Daily Triple, your no shit gaming news video. That's 3 news stories in one video with zero faff. Love it or hate it, The Last of Us 2 did big numbers in terms of day one sales, but before all the leaks, questionable story choices and discussions of crunch culture were doing the rounds, there was another controversy that turned a few heads. The Last of Us 1 launched with a multiplayer mode called Factions that found a small but dedicated following. Fans of this mode were then very disappointed to learn that it would not be returning for the sequel, but developer Naughty Dog did promise that this wasn't the end for multiplayer in the Last of Us universe. According to a new job listing for the studio, they are hiring for an economy designer for multiplayer. This role requires experience with designing economies for PC and console multiplayer games, knowledge of progression systems, understanding of player psychology and narrative tone, as well as basic stuff like communication skills and being a team player. An important thing to note here is the reference to PC multiplayer games. That could just mean that they're looking for a candidate with more diverse skills, or it could mean something more specific like bringing The Last of Us 2 over to the PC platform. Recently, Sony confirmed that Bend Studios' underrated open-world zombie game Days Gone was coming to PC, after Guerrilla's Horizon Zero Dawn was a huge success on the platform. Sony also added that a whole host of PS4 titles will be joining PC, so there's reason to believe that The Last of Us may be one of them. There have been a handful of leaks suggesting that titles like Bloodborne or God of War will be joining PC too, but who knows if any of that is even remotely true. Clearly something is happening at Naughty Dog right now in terms of multiplayer, and that is much more concrete. I never played Factions in the first game, but a lot of people really liked it, so there is clearly a fanbase ready and waiting for it. Hell, on virtually every post someone from the team makes, there is someone in the comments screaming about it, in and amongst the people who just can't stop fighting about a game that came out months ago.
I love you!
See, nobody cares.
The biggest question mark over this is the specific job title of economy designer. That sure sounds to me like this multiplayer mode or expansion, whatever it may be, will feature some form of additional monetization. The job summary says, "We are looking for a passionate multiplayer economy designer who can help us create avenues for self-expression for our players, ensure robust longevity to our games, and give our players great rewards to strive for." Avenues for self-expression sounds a lot like cosmetics, while great rewards to strive for suggests that at least part of this economy will be earnable through gameplay. No one likes microtransactions, but it all comes down to how the game is done. If this mode is coming for free to the existing game and there are a few skins or whatever, then I'm not going to throw my arms up and scream that this is the real apocalypse. However, if it is a full-scale standalone premium paid experience, then I have much larger objections. Free-to-play or premium, cosmetics or time savers, battle passes or stores, there are so many ways to additionally monetize games these days that it's just hard to predict anymore. This doesn't even necessarily mean that there definitely will be microtransactions, as this is just an assumption, since in-game economies can refer to their own built-in currencies like skill points or XP. Of course, we don't know any of that for sure, so it's not worth getting yourself worked up about just yet until we know anything more solid. We don't even know if it'll be PvP like Factions or maybe a PvE survival mode, which is much more my speed personally. Multiplayer games have never been my thing, but facing off against a bunch of clickers with virtually no supplies alongside a friend actually sounds pretty sweet. You spend most of your time in both games with an AI companion, so it would be fun to switch it up and play with a real person for a while, even without a story to back it up. Once again though, we don't know any of this for sure. All we know is that they are hiring for a new multiplayer role. That's kind of it at the moment. It may or may not have additional monetization, we just have to wait and see. And next up, after officially being approved by the European Union this week, Microsoft's acquisition of Bethesda's parent company is all but set in stone. Unsurprisingly, Xbox boss Phil Spencer has confirmed that some of Bethesda's titles will be exclusive to Microsoft platforms, though he didn't say which games would be exclusive to Xbox and PC. In a blog post welcoming Bethesda to the Microsoft family, Spencer said, "This is the next step in building an industry-leading first-party studios team, a commitment we have to our Xbox community." With the addition of Bethesda creative teams, gamers should know that Xbox consoles, PC, and Game Pass will be the best place to experience new Bethesda games, including some new titles in the future that will be exclusive to Xbox and PC players. This shouldn't be at all shocking, as it's been touched on before, and many of us have speculated that this would be the case, but it's frustrating to see no other information on it. In all likelihood, we don't have that information because they don't even know which games they'll be sharing yet. I'd expect huge titles like The Elder Scrolls or Fallout to stay multi-platform, only because the amount of heat they'd get if they didn't put them on PlayStation. Other projects from studios like Arcane or Machine Games and any other new IPs will presumably stay exclusive to Microsoft. But this question of exclusivity isn't half as interesting as the situation with Game Pass to me. As we shared previously, it is vitally important that Bethesda continues making games the way it always has.
They're crap. Crap.
Mega crap.
We look forward to empowering Bethesda's creative teams to reach even more players around the world, helping make future Bethesda titles the biggest and most popular games in their history. Xbox and Bethesda have long shared a common vision for the future of gaming. Both as fans and as creators, Bethesda understands the potential of Xbox Game Pass. In his closing statement, Spencer said that more Bethesda titles are coming to Game Pass later this week, though he didn't mention any specifics. Game Pass is one of the very best value propositions for gamers right now, and I hype it up every time it comes up because I just love it so much and I use it to play so many games now. I have no doubt that Microsoft will launch another ill-received Xbox Live price hike like they did at the start of the year, but at least for now, Game Pass is a damn good value service. This unprecedented deal cost Microsoft $7.5 billion and included Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, ZeniMax Online Studios, Arcane, Machine Games, Tango Gameworks, AlphaDog, and Roundhouse Studios. But in addition to moving all of those under the Microsoft umbrella, VentureBeat reporter Jeff Grubb claims that there will be an official presentation addressing the partnership and what to expect from the future. According to Grubb's report, his sources say that there will be a presentation tomorrow on March 11th. He expects that it won't go into lots of detail about upcoming projects like Starfield and will instead focus more on Game Pass. To be fair, calling this a report is a bit overzealous as it's just one guy claiming something to be so, but that's all we've got right now. Bethesda has a few games set to release this year, including Deathloop, which I'm really excited for, and Ghostwire Tokyo, both of which have some exclusivity arrangements with Sony, as well as DLC for Doom Eternal coming later this month. Beyond that, we're still waiting on more news from Starfield and The Elder Scrolls 6, which will be Bethesda's two biggest titles going forward. They also have the recently announced Indiana Jones title, which is one of the most beloved IPs of all time, so it will be interesting to see how they handle exclusivity with such a fan favourite. And that's kinda all there is with this one in this slow-ass news week, so I'm just gonna move on.
You gotta move on.
And finally, for a bit of a laugh during this slow month for news, one of the guys on Discord sent me this and it really cracked me up. 36-year-old Clint Butler, an armed robber serving 17 years in jail, escaped from Spring Hill Open Prison in Buckinghamshire last November. The outlaw lifestyle and running from the police has been greatly romanticised in the media, and often they get caught in an epic showdown. Batman always taught me that criminals are a superstitious and cowardly lot. Not this guy. He got caught because he went into Birmingham Town Centre to buy the new Call of Duty. In a video caught on police officers' body cams, Butler explains that he just couldn't sit around in lockdown without the new COD. You'd think he'd actually be used to being locked down after serving a 17-year prison sentence. When they approach him, he attacks the officers before immediately falling over in one of the worst getaways I've ever seen, after which he is immediately arrested and pepper sprayed. It's Call of Duty, mate. Just play the one from 2007 before you went to prison. It's the exact same game. It's COD 4 Modern Warfare. It's literally the best one. Silly goose. And that's your lot for today. If you enjoyed this no shit format, go ahead and give the video a like to give it a boost. Hit subscribe and the bell if you want to stay up to date on all future installments. Toss a coin to your YouTuber over at patreon.com/prettygoodgaming. That's all for today. I've been Henry Cooper. Bye for now.